And away we go here for Xbox Division 3.
Still wheel to wheel coming out of turn 19.
Tries to go down the inside of Desio. Desio giving him space, but not by much.
Oh, and he's oversteered, and he spun.
They're side by side, off the track, neck and neck.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Season 3 of PPR Esports. This is Kermit in the booth with Cosmo. Cosmo, welcome back. Season 3, it's finally here. Good. It is finally here, Season 3, the moment we have all been waiting for. So let's go ahead and get into our team lineups. We have Mexena and Mach Speed, a newcomer to the Racing Point team. Let's see, there we go. Racing Point team this year. McLaren, we've got Shazam and Red Hornet. AlphaTauri, we've got Rogue and Ruda. Red Bull, Shay B and Stony. Renault is Capita Hood, our good old trusty Rusty in the banana boat. Also, Double OT. Dr. McShorty for Mercedes. Thierry, as well, it will be his teammate. Andre Pato, if I'm saying that wrong, please correct me, in the Alfa Romeo. And Clean Shelby, a returner from last season. We've got Cream and Getchum in the Ferraris this season. Javier and, alright, this is Chaziraz Gabi. That's the best I can do. In Haas with Becky B and Cjas in the Williams. Today we are at the Red Bull Ring. 36 laps total. We're looking for about a 1 minute, 2.9 seconds for our qualifying time. We'll see if I've seen a couple drivers break into the 1:28. I think any driver would be pretty happy with a time under 1 minute and 3 seconds at this point. Turns 8 total, 6 to the right, 2 to the left. Really a track full of sharp, pretty much sharp right-handers, really. It is really tricky to nail these braking zones, but provided you as a driver can get in the car and get the feel for the braking zone as well as the traction zone you have coming out of the corner, we've seen a number of drivers do extremely well here if they're able to get a handle on that. Drivers in the lobby tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 20 out of 20. It's going to be a full grid to start off our season. Speaking of, we do have a full season of PPR F1 action for you for the PC. Our schedule, we're going to start out in Austria tonight, as you can see. Monza is next week. Suzuka is April 12th. Hungaroring, April 19th. Bahrain is the 26th. Then we've got Spa, Interlagos, Barcelona, Montreal, Circuit of the Americas, and then Silverstone. So this is a lineup picked by our drivers, the ones who will actually be racing it over the next several weeks here. About 10, I think we've got a break week in there, but about 10 weeks or so. Cosmo, what do you think about that track lineup?
I think it's a pretty good one. I mean, they'd probably be, maybe I'm not a huge fan of the Hungaroring necessarily, but I'm also not as good at the game as these guys in D1, so yeah, I think there's a few tracks that I would maybe leave off, but it should be good racing all year round, or I should say all year, all season. All 10 of those races should be exciting.
Yeah, I really found Suzuka pretty surprising. I think it depends on the driver, and it can be really fun, but that's an extremely challenging track to hold a race at. We saw it towards the beginning or towards the end. Oh, there we go. I see what we're saying. Thank you very much, chat, for helping us figure out our audio levels here. First one of the season's always going to be a little rocky, and Cosmo got a little upgrade, so it definitely takes some accounting for. Thank you very much for the feedback. We always appreciate that. All right. Yeah, like I was saying, Suzuka, I think, is one of the most interesting picks for me for these drivers. It's not a track that you would see a lot of drivers, raring to do a 50% race at. It's, a really
such a fun track, though.
It is. You're right. It's fun. It's just intense, and especially for league points. When there's only 10 races this season, then it is, it's all the more crucial that our drivers score points at each and every track. So our drivers are loading into qualifying right now. Let's go
Very
ahead
cloudy.
and take a peek.
Doesn't look like it's raining. I don't know if it will be raining, but Yeah, it's looking very cloudy right now.
Ooh, cloudy it is. All right, it's going to take me a little bit just to get back in the saddle of driving these controls, but we'll pick it up before you know it. So, let's turn on some of this telemetry for our fans. But yeah, it is looking a little bit cloudy. Currently all drivers in the pits, so it's tough to see, oops, how that looks like actually on track. First one out of the pits looks like it's going to be not Max Senna, but it might be Mach Speed.
Yeah, I take the weather forecast from Henners. Henners looks like he's got a weather forecast for us, maybe.
Yeah, that'd be great, Henners. Just toss that in there. I really, yeah, I'd be interested to know what's going on here. Perfect. Drivers. Trees. All right, yeah, here we go. Chaz is how we're going to, I think, abbreviate it. For most of the season is the bravest one to go out on track first. Currently going around turn number 3. Going to be trying to get those tires in the correct window.
Looks like the possibility of wets in the race, but we'll have a dry quality.
All right, so that'll be really interesting. So we're going to see a lot of these drivers raw pace in qualifying. Then once we get to the race, it's consistency that is going to be king. We are going to see our drivers, I think, really struggle with a lot of these braking zones if water starts to come down. You've got basically all of the pressure that you can possibly get in your brake lines right now because you need a most responsive brake you can possibly get at a track like this. Nice turn number 1 for Chaz.
And so a lot of these corners just flow so well together, and if you take a wrong line and into the first corner, you're not going to get the second corner and maybe even that third corner, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially when you start talking about, I mean, turns 4, 5, and 6. They directly feed into each other. Along with 7 and 8, I mean, I consider them to be another pair here. That, yeah, if you mess up your entry or your exit on turn number 7, you're really not getting your ideal line through turn number 8. And of course, that sets you up for your run down the main straight, which is just, you know, really crucial at a track like this, especially when we're looking at a target lap time of 1 minute and 2 seconds. The drivers are going to have to get below that.
Yeah, and they've got, after lap 2, they will have DRS on 3 straight straights. So, I mean, it's really easy to pass here going into turn 2 and into turn 4.
Oh, yeah,
or
I forgot
3.
those 3 DRS zones. Yeah, that is something I think is going to
Depends on how you count corners here.
Mach Speed setting the first time of the 1 minute 5.1. Nice lap time.
Chaz goes almost a second faster.
But Chaz immediately puts in a time of 1.42, and then Shabam even faster.
Shabam and Capita Hood. Capita Hood with 104 flat.
Very nice lap time from Capita Hood there. There we go. The 1 minute 3s are starting to creep in. We've got Becky B. Let's see if
C-Jaws, and he did say dry for quali, but it looks to me as if there's a little rain starting to fall now.
Yeah, maybe a drop here or there. I'm not seeing too much on my screen yet, but I wonder if it's
I'm seeing it going into turn 3 hairpin right now. Oh, and now it's gone. Yeah, down the front straight. I'm seeing a little bit of rain.
Well, I see a couple drops. We'll see what that means for our drivers. I think they can handle a little bit on the track, and they don't have to worry too much about you know, their tire grip. Oh yeah, there we go. I do see it starting to sprinkle. So we might get rain just a little earlier than we bargained for. 14 minutes left in this qualifying session. I think, I mean, if the rain's on the way in, it's got a lot of time to get rainy, and I think that's what we're going to see here. So I think C-Joss, Becky B, Creamy Johns, and Dagger are all going to be really thankful that they set their lap times so far. Max Senna, with an unfortunate mistake on his first time around, posts a 1:13.3, is going to try his hardest to go in for another lap. He's got to do that right away before too much rain falls.
Yeah, and I think at the rate it's falling right now, they should be fine. There should be no real reason to worry about it. But yeah, if it does pick up significantly, they will start to have problems.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something their drivers are really going to want to be monitoring closely, at least as closely as they can. Mach Speed looks like he went around at turn number 5 there, currently off in the infield. Going to put that back on the track, keep it going, and maybe go in for another set of tires.
I would think so. I think he's invalidated this lap.
Andre Pato is in 17th right now, currently on his out lap. Going to be on the soft tire, but he's going to be driving pretty much the whole track, or excuse me, pretty much the whole lap under a slight drizzle. Not enough to totally affect your lap times yet. I think soft tire is still what you're going to want to be on. You can see we don't have any collecting water at the moment, but that could change in just a couple minutes time. So Andre's really got to get a move on.
Because we do know how good of a weatherman Jeff is. He's not particularly good.
Yeah, to say the least, he is.
So
yeah, I mean, it's like flipping a coin with him. So whenever I use him, I have to check in with him every few minutes.
Wow.
But let's go ahead and look at the first lap for Andre here. He's going to throw it into turn number 1. To the right.
I'm going to thank Jay Warren for gifting 5 subs.
Gets a little bit of a draft off of Creamy John's there. Goes around turn number 2, set of purple sector 1, at least for himself, I think. Unless they've changed that since last season. Long run down into turn number 3, got the DRS wide open. He's going to let it fade left and then bring it across the apex to the right there. Very nice smooth motion from him there. That's exactly what we're going to be looking for a lot of our drivers here. Around turn number 4, he's might have to start backing off a little bit due to the rain. It's starting to collect on the camera lens. It's going to look pretty much the same on his helmet visor. So we'll see if he really has to start reacting to some of that. See here, yeah, it looks like he's maybe scrubbing a little bit of the pace off turn 7 and turn number 8. But not so much. I mean, DRS is still active. It goes across the line. Andre with a 1:04.3 goes 13th fastest. Joss currently in the pits along with teammate Becky B. Creamy John's right now just starting a flying lap. Currently on the second straight between turns 1 and 2. Going to be coming up behind the Alfa Romeo there. Andre gets out of the way.
Gonna let him go. Yes.
There, number 3. You can see drivers are starting to struggle with the water ever so slightly. It's collecting on a couple of these corners. You can see the spray off of Creamy John's, let's see, his back left tire around turn number 3. It's really starting to accumulate on track.
Yeah, and it's weird to see him not in the McLaren. I think the last 2 seasons we've commentated, he has been in that bright orange McLaren. Ooh, and well wide there.
Yeah, I think that invalidated his lap there. He's not going to be happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and another notable name, or a notable name that we are missing is some idiot who's won the last 2 championships.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we will have a new champion this year.
Yeah, provided he doesn't make a comeback for the second half of the season here and take home all the races. He will not be joining us this season, this short 10 race season. Maybe we'll see him in season 4 when presumably F1 2021 is going to come out. Then maybe he'll want to come back to be in the Aston Martin car. So we'll see what our drivers do this season in the absence. I think we're going to see a lot of close battles for the front. I mean, we've seen a lot of pace out of Becky B, C. Joss, Creamy Johns. I mean, Capita Hood has it. Rogue definitely has shown.
Yeah, right now it's looking like C. Joss. I mean, 6/10 on Becky B and Creamy Johns. 7/10 on Headers and Rogue. Almost 9/10 on Capita Hood. I mean, he's far and away the fastest person in qualifying. We'll see if he can keep that up in the race.
Javier is currently going around. Turn number 8 is going to come across the line.
Yeah, and I don't
think
we're going to see any faster laps here unless someone's run a particularly bad lap.
The rain doesn't seem to be getting any worse, but I mean, you're right. It's definitely not getting any better at this rate.
Yeah, just starting to see it on the entrance and exit of some of these corners, just a little bit of water.
Yep, ever so slightly. And yeah, that's really going to hinder our drivers, I think, mostly in the traction zones. Because I don't think the braking zones, obviously, it does affect you, and it affects when you're able to turn in and you're basically the understeer of the front car. But it'll also affect, and I think most importantly, affect the traction zones out of these corners. You've got to get good acceleration.
Yeah, and there's some very tricky tracking zones here. Coming out of the turn 3 hairpin, turn 4, coming out of turn 4 is pretty tricky as well. If you get the braking zone wrong, it's very difficult to run right if you lose a little bit of traction.
Definitely. Javier into the pits, not going to set a faster time. 7.5 minutes.
Yep, and Henner's retiring. I think, yeah, we're seeing tires just not going to be faster, or time's just not going to get any faster, rather, with this little bit of rain.
No, absolutely. We're going to be just hanging out in the commentary booth for the time being. We might as well watch some of these laps, but yeah, I don't know that any of these are going to be too much faster, if at all faster, than what's already been posted. Yeah, C-Joss locking it in with a 1.31. Becky B locking theirs in with a 1.3.7. Creamy John's on an out lap, going to take the advantage of the time to run. I don't dislike that, right? I mean, it's unlikely that we're going to have all 20 drivers in the session retire before the end of the session. So if you're a driver, you might as well throw on a set of mediums or softs or whatever you got and run some laps. Whoa.
Young Dagger is the same person as Thierry, right?
Yes, Thierry, that's right.
Okay.
Young Dagger. That is right.
He shows up as Young Dagger on my board.
Yeah, mine too. But that is
Okay.
It is a driver that it's supposed to be. That's the good news.
I thought it was. I thought he went by 2 different names.
No, you're right about that. I forgot. We need to. I think we need to standardize that. Just make that a lot easier to tell, because it's going to be that way on the standings too. But
yeah.
At any rate, we'll get that figured out over the rest of the season here.
Oh, big snap from Creamy John's out of turn 1.
Yeah, Ruda sent it into the wall, lost most of the wings, going to be heading back to the pits to at least get another wing, if not call it a day for this. 5 minutes and 52 seconds left. Creamy John's still on that flyer.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be any faster, though.
Yeah, it doesn't
He
appear.
just doesn't quite have the grip he wants. You could see him slipping and sliding, yeah, a little bit through every turn here.
Mm-hmm. Yep, goes around. Nice entry and exit to turn number 5 there. Keeps it really smooth. And I think that's what we're going to see from the drivers today, or at least the drivers that do exceptionally well are those that are going to be very smooth with their inputs, or just historically have been very smooth with their inputs. I think that's going to be extremely important in the rain.
Creamy back into the pits because,
Yep, no one's really able to go that much faster.
A bit too much rain.
Mm-hmm. Creamy John's retiring from the session, so the top 4 currently have locked in their times. Rogue does not look like he's on pace to go faster. I think he invalidated his lap around turn number 1. Captain Hood still out on track, currently on a flyer. See what he's looking at from the cockpit into turn number 4. Carrying a lot of speed. Yeah, you can see some understeer from the car there. You need to back that way up.
Yeah, and this is lap 3 on those tires. Yeah, Rogue just into the wall.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that and see here. Oh, Becky B is going to be starting on the mediums. Really interesting call from Becky B, but I don't think it's a bad one. Being on the off strategy, being able to get some clean laps in when C-Joss peels away.
Ooh.
I think that'd be just fine.
Stony into the gravel. Yeah, and with Becky B on the mediums, if they're predicting rain later in the race, he might be able to just pit right onto a set of intermediates when that time comes, if that time comes.
Yeah, absolutely. I like giving your Ruda in 7th. Thierry in 8th. Shabam in 9th. Javier 10th. Double OT in 11th. Chaz in 12th. Andre 13th. Shay B in 14th. Stoney 15th. Getchum in 16th. And so on. All right, we'll go ahead, load into the session here.
And thank you to Corey F27 for subscribing. We're just getting so hype here.
Loving it. It's a chain reaction of subscriptions, and I couldn't be happier. Man, we're 56% of the way to a hype train level 3. You don't even know, guys. You don't want to get to hype train level 3 because it gets pretty scary. The train starts going real fast at that point.
Thank you to Cedar Seat Gaming for the 100 bits.
Fantastic. All right, I'm excited. I'm excited for this race. I think our drivers really are going to give each other some battles. We've got the 3 DRS zones between turns 1 and 2, 1 between turns 2 and 3, and 1 down the main straight between turns 8 and turns 1. Those are going to prove problematic for a lot of our drivers today and extremely advantageous for others as we meander around. I think anything but. As we will start the meandering for our formation lap here. We're going to go ahead and give the drivers an opportunity to warm up their tires, get things into temp range, warm up those brakes. I think, let's see, drivers to keep an eye on today. I think Rogue is one you can never discount from the race. His pace is absolutely crazy on the best of days. It's a matter of how much practice he's been able to get in the car that he's in and at this particular track. So it looks like the track's going to be starting out dry. We're not going to have any rain coming from the sky to start with, but we do have 36 laps to go, so anything is possible. Joss is really zipping around the track.
And there are a lot of overtaking opportunities here at Austria. Thank you to Radicus 101 for subscribing with Prime.
Definitely. Yeah, that's thank you very much for the subscriptions, everybody. Yeah, it's an important thing to remember. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 Twitch Prime subscription for free. If you don't want to use it on us, do consider using it on a Twitch creator. It really helps us out to have just the extra available. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the tire everyone's on. So predictable, 1 through 10. You know, they were pretty much locked in. Becky B being on the medium tire, I really like that. Other drivers to have chosen the medium tire, Double OT, Chaz, Andre, Shay B, Stoney, Dr. McShorty, Clean Shelby, and Max Senna. So we're going to start to pull up to the line to form up our grid here. As the last drivers pull up to the grid, we've got Max Senna bringing up the back today, but the drivers are going to line up. We're going to see 5 red lights, and then we are going to go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the last driver in place, and the lights are on. We've got 4, 5, and they're out, and away we go. Season 3 of PPR has officially started. Let's go down the main straight here. We've got an unlucky camera view here. Clean Shelby gonna send it up the middle. Gonna send it. Clean Shelby looks like he's almost all the way at the back. Oh, I see. It's the timing mix-up that Cody's hasn't fixed. Joss out in the front, followed by Becky B. Behind him, the Ferrari of Creamy Johns and Henners, Rogue, Thierry, Ruda, Shabam, Double OT, Capita Hood, Chaz, then Stoney, Andre, Getchum, and beyond that, it's unreliable. We have the Williams on the inside of Creamy Johns here. Creamy Johns getting bold, trying to take that position. Can't quite get it done.
And what a start from Joss, already a second ahead of Becky B.
Yeah, really, really large gap, considering we're not even done with the first lap. But there still is time. Yellow flag, sector 2. Looks like all drivers are currently on the
Chaz already with a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Multiple warnings.
Wow, already. That must have been quite the corner cut if the stewards decided to give him the 3 seconds right away. Oh, Renault running wide of Capita Hood back there. He's going to, looks like Capita Hood Actually, no. Capital Hood took advantage of that. Double OT is going to be drifting back. Oh,
Double OT was retired from the session.
He was backwards on the main straight. We could see him in the back there as Capital Hood, his teammate, was pulling around turn number 1. Double OT is going to be the first to DNF. Virtual safety car for our drivers here while we get things reset.
Who is in the pits?
Looks like
one of the Haas's is in the pits.
Yeah,
Javier's
in the pits.
He'll get a bit of a free pit stop. Not quite free, but
yeah, it's certainly going to be at a discount with the virtual safety car. And I think there's going to be a lot of drivers that, well, I guess not too many that must have sustained damage. When I saw Double OT pinballing around on the straight, I kind of assumed he got collected by at least a couple other cars. Oh, look at that Mercedes there of Thierry. Going to be looking for a spot to pass here. Oh, we almost go 3 wide.
Oh,
the AlphaTauri
of
Rogue tries to get ahead of Rogue.
And I think Thierry wants to try up the inside here. And I think he's going to get Henners. Oh, it forces Henners wide. Just gets a better exit coming off the final corner.
Here we go. Now you can see the 3 battle nice and clear. We've got Rogue, Creamy Johns, and it's going to be Becky
We
B.
do have DRX active now.
Looking at the Williams of Becky B, getting ready to pass Creamy Johns here. Can't quite get it done around turn number 2. Is going to try and look for the pass around turn number 3. Let's see if he can get there.
Let's see. It looks like Creamy might have a little bit of pace. I don't know if he's using DRS or not. Let's see.
He's 1.2 second interval between himself and C. Johnson.
DRS
doesn't have DRS at the moment. Becky B, though, does.
All right, I meant ERS. My bad.
Oh, I see.
To catch him, because it looked like he is taking just a little bit of time off CJOS right now. But he is using, he's got about 30% less ERS. So he is really pushing to get into that DRS zone.
Capital Hood with a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings for him. Unfortunate this early in the race. There's still a lot of race left to go.
No 3-second, and Creamy John setting the fastest lap time of the race so far.
Hender's into the pits, must have a little bit of damage. Let's see where he stops at his pit box here. He's going to turn into the McLaren.
Well, the wing looks fine.
Oh, never mind. He's
maybe
coming out.
Drive-through?
Okay, yeah.
Drive-through penalty, maybe.
Yellow flag, sector 1. We have a racing point. It looks like Mach Speed going relatively slowly, letting the drivers pass there. Currently down in 16th. Still holding on to the back of the pack. Plenty of time to make up those spots for him. 15 and 14th, we got Shabam and Henners. Henners dropped back after his run through the pits there. He's got the DRS on. His teammate is going to get that pass done, I think, quite handily. They're not going to fight each other here. Nice job from Shabam, letting him by smoothly and not losing a whole lot of time in the process. Henners is going to try and make some of that time back. Gets up to position 14 at the moment. Is going to be tracking down Mex Senna and Capita Hood. Mex Senna 1 second ahead. Now 9/10 of a second. Now 8/10. Henners closing like a predator. We're about to jump on a slab of meat. Let's go. Henners starts to find some of that slipstream right now, and down the main straight he's going to find that DRS flak activation as well. Let's see it. He crosses the line here.
Looks like Senna has it in front of him as well, though.
He does, but Henners, I would expect, is going to make nice use of that into turn number 1, considering the soft and medium tire difference between the two.
Yeah.
You can see all that time that Henners just made up there. Let's take a look from his onboard point of view of what that looks like. You can see he's just tracking Senna down. Let's see if he gets it into this turn. Seems like a little far back. Wow, it's going to really close that gap, though. It does a lot of good work from the late braking.
Rogue is very much looking to make a move on Becky B here.
Let's see, Henners is going to go for the pass. Bumps tires. Don't know if he sustained any wheels damage there. He's going to try to go up the inside of Senna around turn number 3. I think he's going to get it done on the exit. The Racing Point slots in behind, just doesn't have enough on the tires to quite get that done. Checking in with Rogue here. Rogue seems...
Yeah, he's going to have DRS, and I think he's going to be looking to make a move down into turn 3.
He's going to try and overtake Becky B here. He's got Thierry behind him as well, or Young Dagger. As you know on the screen, whoa, that looked not good. I saw Chaz and Becky B both disconnect at the same exact time, and they're back. Nice.
And thank you to Corey F27 for gifting a sub.
Yeah, Rogue is all over Becky. Ooh, Becky B sliding out in the traction zone there, just getting a little too much on the throttle of the car, going almost a bit sideways on him, able to recover quite nicely. They're going to pull side by side. The AlphaTauri's going to, stick his nose right up the outside, pushes him wide.
No.
Oh, man, unfortunate.
That was very, very bad. Or could have been very, very bad. That was almost
He's still
terrible
missing an
for
end
Becky
plate.
B.
For as far as Rogue is concerned, that was very bad. He's going to have to go into the pits and get a new wing immediately. This is not a track you can deal with that minimum of front end downforce. He needs all he can get at this point. Oh, into the pits. Oh, never mind. He's going to be staying out. Rogue staying out, deciding that it's not bad enough.
Looks like Creamy Johns has found himself in the DRS window finally.
Someone starting to track down Sejoss. Still a lot of time between the two, 9/10, but with that DRS activation, you're absolutely right. That is going to play a huge effect. Look at that. Creamy Johns already took a 1/10 chunk out of Sejoss. That is going to continue here because we're going to hit that another DRS zone. You see, he opens the wing. He's going to close that gap quite significantly. Now here's the middle sector. This is where tires would play a major difference, but both drivers have similarly aged tires, so it comes down to the driver. Creamy John's locking up on the inside, the front right there around turn number 3, but into turn number 4, keeping it pretty tidy. The round 5 and 6, very nicely done, but let's see, maintaining, if not losing a little bit of time on Sejoss. 7/10 separate the two, but now is where he's going to start to make it up again. Rounding the last corner onto the main straight, gets that DRS activation again, is going to start to pull that gap closed.
And I can't speak for Sejoss, but I know we've watched Creamy Johns race for 2 seasons now, and we do know he is pretty good at conserving his tires, so if Sejoss is just slightly worse, we might be seeing Creamy Johns with just that slight tire advantage.
Yeah, just look at him go around the first turn here. Creamy John's 0.3 of a second. Oh, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I think
there.
went in a little deep there on Sejoss.
Yeah, he did.
Going into turn 3.
Didn't lose a whole lot of time, but he could be right on the gearbox of Sejoss at this point, but just isn't. Wow, big lockup from the inside, or the front right of Creamy Johns. He's got to keep that under control if he wants to take this position. Sejoss so far doesn't seem to have a lot of those lockups or those small little, dramas throughout the lap.
Rogue is missing that end plate, but he does seem to be able to keep up with Young Dagger right now, just now getting out of DRS range, so pace hasn't been too bad with that end plate missing.
Yeah, I suppose that is the danger for Rogue here, right? I mean, he has trouble maybe going around the corners with that lack of downforce, but the straights, I'll bet, I don't want to say a breeze because they can't be easy, but I think they might be a little bit higher top speed with that lack of front end downforce there. I don't know, I could be wrong. We've got Dr. McShorty here starting to close the gap ever so slightly on Capita Hood. Has got it down to 5/10. Ooh, as it extends back to 7/10. Capita Hood seeming to be putting on the afterburners at turn number 1. There's a little bit ERS or just a nice exit, I'm unsure, but Clean Shelby picks up a 3-second time penalty. Creamy Johns in second, still looking to get Sejoss tracked down Reelman and get that pass done. PPR Nick gifting a ton of subs. Always appreciated.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Another 5. Very much appreciated.
Thierry coming up to the back of Becky B. This is one we're going to want to keep our eyes on as well. Ruda looking to get past Rogue. Looks like any minute here. His teammate
Yeah, and he's
in
going to
AlphaTauri.
have a good run on the start-finish straight here. If he can get a good exit, he'll have a good chance into turn 1.
He's going to pull alongside. Gets the
And if
pass
he gets-
done. Rogue doesn't
If he's
fire.
lucky, he will have DRS as well. And Rogue behind him will not.
Yeah, that definitely helps. You can see that DRS flap open. Rogue just trying to follow in the slipstream, getting it ever so slightly, but not quite enough to get the pass done. But it looks like, as of right now, Ruda might just have the pace. I think it's maybe around those corners because of that end plate. Just really helps. Andre now has... Oh, wait, that's not Andre. Never mind. That is the lapped traffic. I want to say that was Chaz behind him. There we go. We've got
Creamy
Andre
Johns.
under pressure from Getchum right now.
And Creamy John's now about half a second behind Sejoss.
That gap closing quite nicely. Extending to 6/10. Sejoss definitely has Creamy John's measured on certain parts of the track. He just has a faster line, and we've been able to see him execute it time after time. Henner's here coming up behind Dr. McShorty, 12th and 11th respectively. 0.6 is now the gap. All these drivers are remaining in that DRS range. Getchum, Rogue into the pits. Decides he needs a new wing at this point, and maybe time for some new tires. 10 laps on the sauce isn't so bad, all things considered.
The sun is starting to get behind the clouds here. It is starting to look a lot more gloomy.
Yeah, I wonder if some of these drivers are paying attention to that, and or if it means anything. Oh, we have a Mercedes
big
off
lock
of turn number 1.
Joss.
Dr. McShorty losing a bunch of time there, somehow managing to hold on to 12th right now. Max Clean Shelby looks like he is going to get that position done here relatively in short order. Dr. McShorty, I don't know if he's struggling with tire temperatures or exactly what it is. Clean Shelby with his fair share as well. Tires trying to go out from under him in the traction zone. Ruda picks up a 3-second time penalty. Gets in the slipstream of Dr. McShorty. He's going to try and use that to his advantage.
I think Creamy John's is going to be making a move down into turn 1 here on Joss.
Oh yeah, he is significantly closer than he has been. Let's see if he can do it. He's going to pull alongside. Is that going to get it done? He's going to have the inside run into turn number 2. Very nicely done.
Hits the apex nicely, yeah.
Just pulling away. Joss is now going to come under pressure from Becky B.
Yeah, and as this race has progressed, I don't know if it's been the battling between Creamy Johns and Joss, or if Joss has just been wearing on those tires heavily with it. There he goes with another big lockup. But he has seemed to lose pace since qualifying.
Yeah, I think Joss has to see this coming to a certain extent.
Wow. Big snap oversteer.
Yeah, that could have been really bad for him if he got it on the opposite side of that curb with the grass, especially now that it's starting to get cloudy here. We might see some rain. It has been just getting darker.
Yeah, and I'm almost wondering if that's why we're not seeing drivers sticking it out for a little bit longer than maybe they would like. I think Joss really would love to go into the pits, but yeah, if he's expecting rain in the next 2 or 3 laps, I don't know why he would. We'll see. Joss, yeah, not getting great exits, and I think Becky B's going to have a look now.
Yeah, Becky B's going to pull along inside.
It'll be Joss down into 3rd.
Yeah, Joss decides not to fight that one too bad, because that leaves Becky B now free to go and track down Creamy Johns. We've seen Becky B have the pace for it. It's a matter of if he can at this point in time. Looks like he's already closed quite a bit of that gap to Creamy Johns. Our 3 front runners all within DRS activation range of each other. And there might be rain on the way. If you're not, Jay Warren.
It was predicted or forecast. All of the forecast for qualifying was a little bit wrong, so.
That's true. Qualifying was supposed to be dry, but we ended up getting a little bit of rain. Forecast for the race was rain, but has started out dry for the most part so far.
He did say plus 45 minutes, so.
Oh, fair. So we are not quite to that point yet. I mean,
so that'd
we're
be,
about 20 minutes in.
Probably about lap 30 would be 45 minutes.
So we might get some rain right at the end.
Oh, and Becky B now well past Creamy John's. Great exit out of turn 1.
Gets that pass done. Yeah, relatively, I don't want to say easy because it's not. He set himself up nicely for that. But he made it look easy as he walked just right past that car. Doesn't have the DRS activation, though. Creamy Johns is going to get a chance to come back at him. Yellow flag, sector 1. All drivers seem to be moving, but the
Ferrari maybe.
Yeah, having trouble.
Henner's into the pits, so he must not be expecting any rain. Going on to a set of softs. At least not any rain soon.
Becky B now pulling away quite nicely from Creamy Johns. Almost has DRS in hand. There we go. There it is. The second between Becky B and Creamy Johns. Creamy Johns will not have the DRS activation. Good news for Creamy Johns, though. Joss has now fallen 1.7 seconds back.
Thank you again to Jay Warren for another gifted sub.
Shabam, the laugh traffic there, getting the nice benefit of DRS activation.
Yeah, and wow. And now we're seeing just the benefit of qualifying on a set of mediums.
Capita Hood with another
We're
3-second time penalty. Whoa! Capita Hood sending it sideways through turn number 1 there, giving the crowd a show for certain, but able to save it. That's one of the things that's been really exciting to see since PPR Season 1. Capita Hood's been with us since the beginning. We've seen him go from completely losing the car in a situation like that around Season 1 to being able to save it. We've seen him really develop as a driver, not only here in Formula 1, but also in our GT3 Series for ACC. That has been really phenomenal to watch all those drivers go around. Of course, that is Sundays. Just look for details on our website, PPREsports.com.
And look at the difference in pace between Becky B and Creamy Johns now, and C-Joss now, all about 3 seconds apart from each other.
Wow, really starting to fan out at the front.
Yeah, that medium tire was a great tire to start on. It looked like.
McSenna still within
C-Joss
range
into the
of
pits.
Getchum. Drivers opting to pit so
C-Joss
far.
is going on to another set of softs, so we will see him pit again.
I think that makes sense. I mean, especially if you're expecting rain here. If you just went 16 laps on one set of softs, or like, even call it 15. If you can get to lap 30 with another set of softs, I think we're going to see a little bit more rain coming down at the end of the session. It seems to be trending
Oh, and
that way.
Creamy Johns almost puts it around. And I think it might be time for him to come into the pits as well.
Yeah, deciding he can't wait any longer to start
Now,
spotting those
5
raindrops.
seconds behind Becky B. Yeah, he cannot afford to lose any more time if he wants to be competing for this race win.
Yeah, I think if you pit now, you pit onto the softs. Drivers having chosen the mediums already, Mach Speed, Shabam, Rogue.
And he is not pitting. And now I think what you have to worry about is now he's going to get undercut by C-Joss. C-Joss was about 3 seconds behind him. I think he had him covered on this lap, but now going a second lap. We see how much slower they are than the 16-lap-old mediums. They got to be a lot slower than fresh softs.
Oh, C-Joss absolutely flying here. The car looks really tidy through the corners with that fresh set of softs. He's going to get the slipstream from Ruta down the main straight, open that DRS, and I imagine he's going to have him passed in no time at all. I think it'll happen probably around turn number 2, if he can get close enough. Depends on how well the DRS. Yep, looks like he's going to try and get it done.
And I think if Ruta's smart, Ruta just kind of lets him by and knows this is not his fight into turn 4 here.
I mean, I don't know. Ruta just pitted already. He's got 2 laps on a set of softs. I think the battle between
I
Ruta
suppose,
and
yeah, that would be an undercut. I didn't realize Ruta had pitted already.
Yeah, it's as relevant as ever, but...
Oh, and he spins Ruta. Ruta
comes
just...
off. The worst.
Yeah.
Oh, not going to be happy about that. Ruta goes right into the infield there. It's going to get passed by Max Senna to add insult to injury. Sorry, nothing against you, Senna. He's just going to lose a position.
He looks like he's all right, though, as far in terms of front wing.
Yep, looks like that is okay. Going to take the fight immediately back to Max Senna. Try and gain back that position lost. Stoney dropping down a position to...
Creamy Johns still has not pitted.
Thierry caught up in that lap traffic right now. He's going to try and get past the Red Bull of Stoney. Can he do it in a reasonable amount of time? Because that's going to be essential for the undercut strategy here. Undercut seems to be relatively effective. I mean, look at where Dagger was able to get. He's ahead of C-Joss by a pretty tidy margin at the moment. Lock up towards the inside for Thierry, or young Dagger here.
And interesting decision for Creamy Johns to not pit.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of our front runners just at a huge disadvantage.
Andre Pato is now catching him pretty quickly. Let's see if he decides to go in this time. It doesn't look like it. But now only 3 seconds behind him. He had a pretty significant lead on him just a few laps to go.
One car separates the two, a back marker between Pato and Creamy Johns. So we'll see how he's able to take that into effect. Chaz, though, we'll see them probably pull out of the way, and my guess will be a couple straights from now. Max Senna looking to hold on to Rogue right now. Rogue was able to get past, but Senna using the DRS to the best of their ability to try and keep that gap relatively consistent. Falls out of DRS range, will not have the DRS activation next time around. But
And I think I'm starting to see a few drops of rain now as I watch C-Josh drive around.
perfect. This is right where you want to be if you're Young Dagger, also known as Thierry, right? All the
And
drivers
this
are going
is-
to have to pit here in the next few laps.
And look at that. Creamy John's letting, or I shouldn't say letting, but Chaz unlapping himself for Creamy John's and Andre Pato by, Young Dagger by. And I think Creamy John's has a tire blown. I think he's blown a tire.
Is that what's happened here? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he's gone too long on those tires and he's got a puncture.
Oh, unfortunate for Creamy Johns there. Just...
Because,
wow.
yeah, he is fighting that car and now, yeah, into the pits, now in 6th place, probably going to fall well out of the points.
Oh, unfortunate there, but I can't say he didn't do that to himself. I mean, he had 18 laps.
Andre Pato now into 2nd, past Young Dagger.
Yeah, really going to like that positioning there.
Yeah, and as the rain
Oh,
falls,
Young Dagger's going to try and send it
battling
up
for
the
second
inside, can't
position.
quite get it done.
So this will be interesting to see if he can't defend for a few laps, because he is now battling for position, assuming they're going to pit onto intermediates in a couple laps' time.
Whoa, backing up there.
Yeah.
Mercedes has to slam on the brakes to avoid hitting the rear of Pato there.
And Creamy John's pits out into 12th place, onto a new set of softs.
Wow.
And that is
really?
very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that's just the way that timing worked out, because he's gonna have to.
Oh.
He's gonna
And
have
yeah.
to pit in 3 or 4 more laps if the rain continues the way it's going.
Yeah, and Young Dagger around the outside of Pato. I just so much more grip on those new softs. Nothing he could do, excuse me.
Well, not a whole lot you can do there, but let's take a look. Look at the back here. We've got Mex Shelby, or Clean Shelby, with Getchum and Javier all tied up in a bit of a battle at the moment. You see a nice viewpoint from Shelby here. We got Getchum and Javier battling at the front as they start to pull away. See if Getchum's able to get this pass done around the outside of the last turn. Keeps it together. Javier
And
dives
Javi into the pits, which is an interesting decision on 17-lap-old mediums. I don't think he's going to be going on to intermediates. I think it's a little early for that.
It is. I mean, the intermediates are pretty uncontrollable in conditions like this. So if a driver tries it this early, they're going to...
Yep,
hanker
they got
down.
softs.
Yep. And who knows? I mean,
that-
maybe the rain stays at this level for the rest of the race because, I mean, if it does, then softs aren't a bad choice because you're going to have to pit them for mediums at some point. I guess it depends
Yeah.
what strategy you're on. But yeah, it's interesting choices from some of our drivers here. C-Joss, there we go, gets right past
And Becky
Pato.
B into the pit lane as well. Looks like he's going on to a set of softs.
Wow, that was a really quick overtake from C-Joss. I don't know what happened from Pato there.
Becky B is going to come out in, wow, the field is really tightened up into 4th, just ahead of Stoney.
Wow, there he is, yeah.
Now about 5 seconds between 1st and 5th.
Let's see if Stoney's able to take advantage of
2.5 seconds, wow. I did some really bad math there.
Becky B's tires being fresh. But yeah, Becky B's right back into the thick of it. Sector 3, yellow flag. Looks like for Mach Speed, they're going off the edge of the track. Able to get it going again. Not gonna
Ooh, and the
cost
rain
much.
looks like it's coming down really hard into turn 4.
Are we going to see our drivers switch over to inters? We
Ooh,
might
Becky
just.
B
Becky B
at the
gets past
inside.
Pato.
Mach Speed, 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, Becky
And
B
now
right
we
on the
will
back of it.
see-
Looks like a back marker there. I wonder who that was.
Chaz getting out of the way of Andre. And Andre going into the pits now. And I can't imagine this is quite for a set of intermediates yet. I don't know. Mach Speed onto intermediates.
3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Mach Speed, the first one to pull the trigger on those intermediate tires. Let's
And
see
I
how
think
he
maybe it
does.
Andre must be coming in for those.
I don't think these are going to be an easy tire to
But
control
I don't.
right now.
I don't think so. I think we're about 2 laps out. But yeah, that is what we're seeing is another set of intermediates.
I mean, look at Clean Shelby. He's gone 21 laps on those mediums and potentially needs to go a couple more. I don't dislike the call. I mean, he's brought himself up to 12th. That's, says a lot about that. Let's see into turn number 1 here, Mach Speed. Is he able to get the car slowed down? Okay, that didn't look so bad from Mach Speed. Either he's really good at controlling these inters. I mean, it's only one lap or
we'll
one
see,
point
yeah.
sample, but
We'll see if they don't get very hot by the end of this lap, or, lap 2. Andre Pato struggling out of turn 2, or 3 rather.
Shea B
Ooh,
coming up behind.
Becky Becky B into first, maybe into the last 2 corners.
Woo! Becky B just getting it up the inside there. Nice.
Stoney out at turn, what is that, turn 6?
Oh, wow. Yeah, Stoney's out of turn 6, yellow flag, sector 3. This might be a safety car. We'll see. I think it would have called it by now. Yeah, Stoney.
Yeah, 13 laps left to go in this race. Becky B back into first place.
Yeah, just a yellow flag for sector 3. For the time being, I think that's all it's going to be. But that being said, it's looking like the rain is lightening up a little bit.
Yep, and the incident's been cleared now.
I mean, there was hardly any rain through turns 5 and 7, or 5 through 7.
Seeing quite a bit still down into 4.
Okay, so I think it's patchy at best. So the intermediates are going to be still tough to control, I think, at this point. But yeah, I can see that. Going into turn number 2, it's starting to get pretty rainy. Oh, we got a Mercedes around him. Is that Dr. McShorty? Yeah, he is backwards at the beginning of the pit straight. I don't know what happened there. Looks like he might have gotten tangled with Javier. Javier passes Clean Shelby, who's gone into the pits.
Let's see if either has damage.
Dr. McShorty definitely has wing damage. He's not going to be happy about that at all. He just pitted 1 lap ago. And look at how far wide he runs on turn number 1. He's going to have to pit for another wing. And without, barring a safety car or, random act of God with more rain just dumping out of the sky, it looks like Dr. McShorty's going to, it's pretty much his chance at points is going to be over for today.
And it looks like if you look at Gedsham and Andre, 9th and 10th, it's just not time for those intermediates yet. Andre's lost about a 1.5 seconds on this lap.
Ooh, Sejoss
Maybe
trying
more.
to challenge Becky, getting challenged by Thierry. Here, those interesting tactics from Thierry going back and forth, going down the inside. Nice. Mercedes gets it done. Williams of Sejoss now back to
but
third.
Williams wants it down the inside, and he's just not gonna quite be there.
Ooh, sticks his car there. The Mercedes knows well enough to give him room.
Yeah, and I think Sejoss knows well enough. Oh, and the Mercedes spins!
Just bins it. Really unfortunate. Sejoss was right where he needed it to be, though.
Yeah,
Mercedes
he almost got taken out.
Mercedes gets passed by Ruda. I think Rogue might get the pass done here as well. Back marker of Shea B going past, unlapping himself from the Mercedes. Almost without missing a
with
beat.
11 laps left.
Into
It does look like we're going to need intermediates at some point. The rain is starting to come down a little harder.
Yeah, turn 2 and 3, it's starting to get pretty bad. Creamy Johns with a 3-second time penalty.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, the drivers that
He has fought his way back up to 8th, though.
Yeah.
And Capita Hood is going to pass Henners on the second straight. Down into turn 3. Capita Hood up into 6th. And Andre Pato into the pits, and it looks like he is saying no more intermediates. Yep, not the right decision.
Yeah, intermediate.
Which is unfortunate, because I think in a couple more laps it will be.
You said that a few laps ago. We'll see how it...
I mean, I did, but...
I mean, yeah, it did look really rainy through turn number 4, so it seems to be that the rain is creeping in from turn 2, just got to turn 4, and then with another 4 or 5 laps, it could be all the way at turn 8, which then means turn number 2 is going to be quite rainy at that point. There we go. We've got turn 8 now, has a decent amount of rain.
You can see the line starting to disappear a little bit, that dry line where the drivers normally drive around the track. It's just starting to slowly disappear and get a little wetter.
Yeah, if it continues at this pace, we are going to need the intermediates. I don't think we're going to get all the way to the wets yellow flag sector 3 caused by one of the racing points.
No, not unless the skies open up.
No, and that would be quite the sight to behold. Well, Andre Pato and Javier going out. Oh, Javier goes around, loses out on the battle with Pato. Pato says, not today. Don't know exactly what happened there, but I imagine stewards will be looking.
Mach Speed also deciding intermediate's not the tire for him. Into the pits again.
Javier
and tripping a time penalty.
Let's see, I think a lot of drivers are going to start pitting. I think we're starting to see a lot of the lack of the grip here. It looks like Javier is going to be one of the first among them. Racing Point decides to come out of the pits with...
I think Javier is going to have some wing damage as well from that spin. I didn't get a chance to see his car, but that's my guess.
Yeah, more drivers into the pits. We got the
Young
Mercedes.
Dagger in.
It gets the wing.
But this is about the pit window for those softs that are, 13 laps old. Yeah, Young Dagger onto a set of mediums.
Dagger onto a set of mediums, and the
So
Haas
he's
of
not
Javier
expecting this
onto
rain to get
softs.
any worse.
No, not at all. So we'll see how that.
Or maybe he is, or he might be, but he doesn't know. He's been on 2 sets of softs, I think, thus far. Take a look at that in Race Director.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah, he's been on 2 sets of softs, so he has to go on the mediums just in case. Which is unfortunate, because I'm sure he would have loved to wait a few laps.
Oh, absolutely. Javier falling back. There we go. Just some lap traffic there.
And look at Becky B just so quick right now in these mixed conditions.
Capita Hood trying to
12
hunt down
seconds ahead of
Rogue.
C-Joss.
At the moment, only 0.6 of a second separate Capita Hood and Rogue in 5th and 4th. Looks like Rogue is going to get ready to go into the pits. Let's see if Capita Hood does the same. No, Capita Hood stays out. Is he going to regret that? Well, I think it depends a lot on whether, like Cosmo, you've been saying, on whether we're actually going to need the intermediates or not. If we do, I think Capita Hood made the right call. Because
8 laps left.
Rogue, I have to imagine, is going to be pitting on to. Whoa, Rogue puts on the intermediates. Decides now's the time.
If we don't need intermediates, C-Joss, Ruda, Capita Hood, Henners, Creamy Johns, Getchum, Clean Shelby, we'll all have to pit.
Capita Hood really needs to put his head down this lap and put in a good lap time if he thinks that he needs to switch on to intermediates. Obviously, Rogue did.
Have you seen DRS disabled yet?
No, I haven't yet. Andre picks up another 3 seconds.
Doesn't look like Creamy had it there on Henners, but I could be wrong. He may have just gotten there a little late.
Capita Hood running a nice lap right now. Getchum now onto the intermediates as well. So Rogue and Getchum both onto those intermediates. Decides that now is the time.
And we're right at that crossover point.
Capita Hood choosing to forego the pit again.
Thinking about going in. Yep, Creamy into the pits. And I think we're going to see... Well, they have to pit at this point. They need new tires, or a different compound of tires.
Yeah, Capita staying out no, I don't want to say extraordinarily long, but a little bit on the risky side compared to some of our drivers that have decided to go safe on to the intermediates. Creamy Johns is going to get out the pits behind Rogue there. Going to be ahead of Mexeno on those intermediate tires. Ruda trying to win along right now. Got a pretty consistent stint going on with the soft. C-Joss next.
And Creamy John's also onto a set of inners, so that's interesting. Yeah, they're right at that crossover point. Yep, and DRS has now been disabled.
Becky B into the pits. He's going to pick up the intermediates. Let's see what the drivers
That should be the cue for the drivers.
I think so. I think it's too risky not to at this point, unless you apparently are Capita Hood and are just really, liking how your tires are gripping, your soft tires.
He's going to pit anyways. He needs. He's only run softs. He's run 2 sets of softs this race, so he will be into the pits. I imagine this lap.
Sure, I think it's a matter. Yeah, it's a matter of when. Is he gonna? Yeah, he's gonna
right
get. He's gonna get stuck behind Shabam in the pit entrance. He's not gonna be happy about that. He's gonna lose a decent amount of time. Shabam is not.
And he's trying to get past him, and he's not.
Wow, held up, Capita Hood.
He's
very unfortunate.
Fuming, absolutely fuming.
Oh.
And Henner's speeding in the pit lane.
Wow.
Right behind him.
Vamos, Shabam. Let's go. Is I think what Capita was yelling inside. Oh, and Henners gets held up by the teammate.
Even worse. Because, I imagine if Shabam runs a little faster there, he's not going to hold up Henners either in the pits. And, and as we see everyone into the pits now, except for Mexena.
Wow.
And Chaz. Nope, Chaz into the pits as well.
Mexena deciding to chance it.
Shea B out. Andre back into the pits 4 laps later for a set of inners.
And Shabam playing probably a bigger hand than he knows in the running order right now. Capita Hood down to 5th. Really unfortunate.
And Creamy Johns has managed to fight his way back up to 4th after that puncture.
Well, I suppose that's true. It's also been a really good drive by Creamy Johns. We can see C-Joss right here battling with some lap traffic at the moment.
As Real gets past Senna, and Senna just has absolutely no grip.
Yeah, Senna wishing that he would have pitted for Inters, I think, when the rest of them did. He's going to have to this lap if he doesn't want to fall back completely out of the points position before the end of the race. He's still close.
No, when he pits, he's going to be out of the points.
He'll still be ahead of, I think, Andre. So he's got a chance to fight it back
yeah,
and try
I
and
guess
close
you're right.
that gap.
Yeah, he'll be in the 10th. He'll fall to 10th. You're right. It'll be close. Oh, and he goes wide, and he's not going to be able to pit.
Oh man, Max Senna stuck on those
And
soft tires.
Is he maybe getting a gap from someone watching, saying you're at 14 seconds? If you could hold 14 seconds for 4 laps, just stay out.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he
know.
can see that on his screen, right? Is that you've got to.
I don't know if he could see it quite that far down.
Well, he can at least see Getchum, and that's the one he's got to worry about, which there's 6 seconds between them. So if Getchum gets past him, he's now in 10th. But then it's Andre Pato after that, so 19 seconds.
I think Pato, if Andre Pato could keep it clean, it looks Senna with a little snap over sneer there. I think he's got a chance at points. As Javier unlaps himself in 15th from Max Senna.
Senna's really going to have to keep it together. This is going to be an extremely difficult drive to the end of the race here.
Yeah.
And if Andre Pato, who has decided to switch to the Inters, is going to start making up a lot of time on Senna every lap.
Yeah.
Oh, yellow. Oh, no, the banana boat. Tell me it's not Capita Hood. Tell me it ain't so.
It is Capita Hood. Capita Hood going slow, and it looks like Henner's going to get him.
Oh, goes around. Henners gets past him quite easily there. Capita Hood going around on the infield of turn number 5. Insult to injury for Capita Hood here, falling down to 7th.
Shabam up a place on the other MEX driver, Clean Shelby. And now Senna into the pits, and he's going to lose out big time. I think he's going to fall to 11th here behind Andre Pato. Oh, and Young Dagger left the session. Oh, and as I say that, Pato into the wall.
Oh, no.
Oh, unfortunate for him.
Pato's got a whole lap to do with that busted wing.
Yeah, and Senna's going to come out in front of him because of it.
Ooh, and that is totally... The whole left side is gone for Andrew Pato. That is not going to be an easy car to control right now. But he's got 2 laps left. Does he just stay out at this point? I think if he can get even just around the corner, I think he stays out. But look behind him. He's got Max Senna coming up.
Oh, yeah, he did get out in front of Senna. I wonder if Senna didn't maybe make a mistake. Oh, who is that into the wall? Mach Speed into the wall onto the pit straight.
No
Big
safety
snap
cars
over
called
there.
this late in the race. It's not going to happen. Becky B, Joss, and Ruda seem to have it pretty tight up at the beginning of the race, but when the rain falls from the sky, anything could happen at any moment, especially with the time penalties that Ruda has. Creamy Johns is starting to creep his way up onto Ruda, and I think that is going to play an important piece here. Cosmo, can you see what the time penalties are for Ruda and Creamy Johns? That may play an important factor.
Both have 3 seconds. And remember, you could also look at that on the screen now. They have that as under the details in the spectator menu. So Ruda with 3, Creamy Johns with 3, Rogue with 9, Henners with 14, Capita Hood with 6, Max Senna with 6, Andre Pato with 3, Dr. McShorty with 8, Shabam with 6, Javier with 6, Clean Shelby with 3, Chaz with 12, Shay B with 6, and Mach Speed with 15.
Henners and Capita Hood. Yeah, we'll go ahead and pull those out. I was apprehensive to take up the teams or the space, but we'll go ahead and look at those penalties because that is more important at the moment. Pato dropping down to
Yes, it looks like not.
Henners with a lot of time penalties right now. So Capita Hood, I think, is just holding on to the back of Henners, trying to score those points at the minute while trying to maintain his gap between Dagger behind. Dagger falls to 8.1, down 1/10 of a second in the last half lap. Yeah, Dagger, I think, is not going to pick up 7th place, but looks like he has 8th place secured for the time being. But right now, he's going to have to fend off Getchum. Neither driver with penalties. Getchum is creeping up on Dagger very quickly here, trying to close that gap down to 8/10.
Capita Hood's going to try and take 6th place from Henners, I think. Going to have a couple more opportunities here, about a lap and a half left.
Getchum looking like he's going to make this pass any turn here, and Dagger seems to be disconnected.
It looks like Dagger Dick, Thierry not in the session anymore. Got a big X on its name.
No, he's disconnected. Getchum needs to be careful though. It is.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And just forces his way through there, and lucky the bot gives him some room. And Henners picks up 3 seconds, and that is going to be unfortunate for him.
Yeah, frustrating.
I guess
for Getchum.
Capita was already going to get by him, but that might drop him down to 9th place.
Yeah, a little frustrating for Getchum there. I think he wanted to try and close that gap between Cap and Hood, but I don't know that he's going to get it done because we are on the last lap of the race. Becky B coming through at the end of Sector 2 right now, just the entrance of Sector 3, around turn number 5, then to 6. Only 2 turns left before the start-finish straight. He just has to keep it together that much longer, and he'll have taken home the win at race number 1 of Season 3 here at PPR F1 Series.
What a race for him.
Very nice race.
Oh, big snap oversteer at the start-finish straight.
Becky B crosses the start-finish line and takes home the win. Seajoss coming up in 2nd place is going to round the last few corners here. Looks like he's going to have that in hand quite handily.
This is something that I would not mind seeing in real life. A Williams 1-2.
Oh, definitely. Seajoss just crossing the line now is going to solidify his spot in 2nd. Ruda coming through the final turns of Sector 3. See, not too many drivers. Andre Pato relatively close to Dagger.
He's going to end up in 10th.
Yeah. Nice. Well, timing screen. Oh, the time penalties play into it weird. We'll see what happens here with Dagger and Pato.
Because some of the drivers were lapped and some of them weren't.
Yep. Oh yeah, Dagger's gonna have a chance.
5 seconds for unserved. That's gonna drop him down quite a bit. I think Getchum's gonna get by him, and I think Young Dagger might get by him as well.
Oh yeah, gets by Henners. Henners drops down to 9th with the time penalties. That's can't say it's too surprising. He had quite a bit of penalties for that.
Yeah, so that was, I think almost 22 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, that is quite a number. Getchum, driver of the day. Can see that he was battling quite fiercely a lot of the race. I mean, I think he had a good drive today, kept it cool when he needed to. But Becky B, there, your race winner today. Nice drive
nice race from him.
Absolutely. Seajoss, your pole position, able to take home 2nd place. Really nice drive from our Williams drivers today. That is going to start the Williams team off very, very strongly for the season. There you have it. There is our finishing order. Becky B, Seajoss, Ruda, Creamy Johns, Rogue finish out the top 5. Captain Hood, Getchum, Young Dagger, also known as Thierry Henners, gets the fastest lap in 9th. Andre in 10th for the last of the point scorers. Maxena in 11th. Dr. McShorty 12th. Shabam 13th. Javier is 14th. Clean Shelby 15th. 16th for Chaz Shabi for 17th. Mock Speed 18th, and Stoney and Double OT with the unfortunate DNF. Yeah, we'll see if we've got the interviews coming up here. We'll try to get our top 3 drivers, Becky B, Seajoss, and Ruda, into the interview booth so we can try and have a chat with them about how they thought that race went. Congratulations to them on getting on the podium. If you want to see yourself on a podium similar to this, go to PPREsports.com and subscribe or join our Discord and find a spot on the track or in the booth for our ACC League, F1 League, or our iRacing League now. So we've got it across a number of platforms, so just stop on by and see where we can fit you in. Wow, nice drive from all of our drivers today. But speaking of other leagues, GT3 Series starts this weekend. Season 4, that's what it is. Yeah, Season 4 of our GT3 Series for ACC starts this weekend. Be sure to tune in. It is going to be quite a good race. I've got just a little bit of a teaser to show you to get you a little excited for this.
With the little guns come, and I wanna bust guns on the run when I come with the warriors.
have it, GT3 on Sunday. Be sure to tune in around 3:30 Eastern. So, as we have it, we have our top 3 in the interview room at the moment. We'll start with our first place finisher, Becky B. Congratulations on the win at the first race of the season.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely a good one.
Yeah, it was a hard fought. Would you, how would you say you played the rain? I mean, obviously, first is no slouch, but did you get to pit on the inters exactly when you did? I think drivers were relatively, or when you wanted to, because drivers were relatively indecisive about when the correct point was.
Yeah, for sure. Getting to start on the mediums, I was definitely hoping that I was going to be able to stretch. So I was a little disappointed that I wasn't able to. But I think I timed it perfectly coming out where I did, and having the best tires basically in the field for a few laps there to be able to pass a few people right off the rip there, and then be able to have good pace until the rain did come. So I think I timed it perfectly.
Yeah, I should say so. It looks like, when you switched over, Joss followed suit, so did Ruda, I believe, and that, really seemed to be the time, because we saw a driver, I think, pit 4 laps before that, and they were really struggling until that water really started to accumulate on the track. So it seemed like a lot of back and forth. How do you feel the competitiveness of the league is going to be this season? I think we've got a lot of fast drivers.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a lot of fast drivers, and I think up at the front it'll definitely be fun, and I'm sure in the midfield it's going to be tight too. So definitely really looking forward to it, and it's good to be racing with all these guys again.
Absolutely. It's great to have you back. We'll see you next week. And for that, we'll move on to our second place finisher, Joss. Welcome to the booth. Congratulations on the second place finish. A strong finish for the Williams team today. Going to boost your points in the constructors. How did you feel about today's race?
I feel like kind of ended where I expected to. Becky has got some really good pace, so I was really happy with the result that came out of it. It was a really dynamic race with the crossover point. Kind of coming at the end of the stint with the tires, and everyone kind of on different sets of tires, which, yeah, I bet it was a pretty good race to spectate and kind of commentate. That had to have been pretty interesting for you guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely was.
Seemed like you were changing positions a lot at the front. It was, a lot of back and forth, kind of opening and closing of those gaps with the tire strategies especially. So it looked like you maybe went a little bit longer than some on the soft tires. Do you think you should have pitted earlier and maybe gone for another soft stint, or were you happy with the decision you made?
I'm kind of half and half on that because the longer I stayed out on that soft stint, once I went onto those new softs and the rain started coming, I really had the best pace on track where everyone they hadn't pit already. But the second option I would have had would be to kind of go half and half on both of them, and it's tough to say what would be the best, but I think that with my tires doing what I did, they were around 75%, so there's a good chance they could have popped, which ended up happening to Creamy. So it's I like the decision I made. But yeah, starting on the medium had to have really helped because you can just stretch out that stint longer, and yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it apparently worked out for you. You're on the second step of the podium, bring home, very nice finish for Williams today. Congratulations on the first race of the season, getting second. We'll hope to see more from you next week. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move on to our third place finisher, Ruda. Congratulations on the first podium of the season. In past seasons, we've seen you maybe struggle a little bit to maintain the top 5, really that consistency. But if today was any measure of how this season's going to be for you, we have seen a very consistent driver come out the other end. How do you feel about your chances for this season?
Thank you. Last season, or I guess not last season, but in previous seasons, like you said, consistency has been an issue for me. I think with Austria being one of the easier tracks, I was a bit lucky with the rain and such. I was stretching out my tires to pretty nerve-wracking lens. So I definitely got lucky today, but I hope to have more podiums in the future at least.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure based on what we saw today, we'll see more. But yeah, two sides to that tire coin, right? Creamy John's ended up going particularly long, and he paid the price for it. So next week for Monza, how do you feel your chances are? I mean, it seemed like you were pretty quick in a straight line here, and Monza is known for speed. What do you think your chances are like?
I think with my pace, I could definitely score some solid points, a podium, especially with the likes of, potentially some idiot racing, definitely Sejoss and Becky, Creamy even, Rogue. He had a pretty unlucky race. Those are some guys that I'll have to fight to look for that podium spot.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, extremely consistent showing for me today. I'm very excited to see that progress throughout the rest of the season. Now, remember, we've only got 10 races this season, so every last point counts, but you started it out well, starting out on the podium. So, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I think we are going to go ahead and wrap up this.
Looks like we have an extra person in the chat.
Oh, in the interview room?
Yeah, looks like Nick's here. Maybe he had something to say.
Yes, to Kermit and Cosmo, I just want to announce quickly our winner of the $25 gift card that we gave out for hitting 50 concurrent viewers during you guys' stream tonight. That winner was Just Jose X, and congratulations to him. And thank you guys so much for a wonderful stream, and can't wait for you guys to continue out for the rest of the season.
Awesome. Jess Jose X, congratulations on winning that gift card. Nice job for you tonight. Good. Awesome. Well, great. Yeah, and that was, I saw it a couple points. I meant to say something. 50 concurrent viewers on the stream.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Is nothing to sneeze at. So thank you, everyone, for coming out. We've got an insane amount of subs. I don't think I can run through the whole list, but we've plenty of follows. Some of the ones we missed in the last section of the show here. We've got Shaka Ninja, JC Butler, Nico Pardo, Eli Grick, Mr. Lovell, lots, Rage Panda Wolf down at the last minute. Thank you very much for supporting the channel here. Every follow, every Twitch Prime subscription, every bit, and every regular subscription really helps us out and gets us just that much further to putting on a great stream for you guys. I want to thank everyone for coming out, including our racers tonight. Please tune in this time next week at the same time for Monza, but don't miss our other sections. Go ahead and look on our website, PPREsports.com. Going to show the schedules for all of our racing leagues. ACC, which starts season 4 on Sunday, and then iRacing going on as well. So I want to thank everyone again for coming out. Did a fantastic job, and thank you, Cosmo, for keeping me company here in the booth.
Hey, anytime. I love being here with you.
All right, thank you, everyone. This is where we are going to leave you. Have a great night, and we will see you next week.
Have a great night, everyone.
Paradise of love and joy, a destination unknown.